Hello, my name is Evan Lewis, and welcome back to Cincinnati Museum Center's Story Tree Time. This week, we're reading a book about how things get made and how many people are actually there making them. Do you think that these tiny people made this light bulb? Who's to say? Let's read the book. Someone Builds the Dream. Written by Lisa Wheeler. Illustrated by Lauren Long. All across this great big world, jobs are getting done. By many hands and many lands, it takes much more than one. An architect creates a space. She'll draw, redraw, measure, and trace a woodsy, warm, and peaceful place. But someone works to guide the saws, plane the logs, lead the team. Someone needs to pound the nails. Someone has to build the dream. To engineer a bridge takes skill. Math and science fit the bill, and I-beams ordered from the mill. But someone works to mine the ore, smelt the iron, pour the beam. Someone needs to weld the steel. Someone has to build the dream. An artist makes a stunning plan, a masterpiece from mind to hand, a fountain both unique and grand. But someone works to dig the trench, lay the drains, solder seams. Someone needs to plumb the pipes. Someone has to build the dreams. A scientist earns a degree in physics and ecology. He aims towards cleaner energy. But someone works to tighten bolts, steer the crane, drive machines. Someone needs to raise the tower. Someone has to build the dream. Park designers sketch with pride amusements and amazing rides and sights to keep you mystified. But someone works to run the wires, light the lights, make them gleam. Someone needs to bury cables. Someone has to build the dream. An author thought up something new. The illustrator planned and drew to make this book for kids like you. But someone worked to set the text, run the press, load the reams. Someone had to make this book. Someone had to build this dream. All across this great big world, there's lots of work to do. It takes a team to build a dream, a skilled, hard-working crew. So when you see a bicycle, a playground, house, or shoe, remember all the someones who help make a dream come true. The end.
Hello, boys and girls! Today, we will talk about construction workers. People have always needed homes to shelter them from the cold in the winter, heat in the summer, and rain in the fall. People also needed roads, towers, parks, theaters, and other buildings. All of these appeared thanks to the hard work of construction workers. A lot of people work at a construction site. It would be impossible for one person to build a large building or fix a road alone. Since the beginning of time, people have used special tools to build and fix things in the community. Today, construction workers have many tools and machines to do their jobs. This construction worker is using a drill. A drill is a tool that makes holes. Construction workers also use a hammer and nails to put things together. This wall is being built with bricks and cement. The construction worker is using a trowel to smooth things out. Sometimes construction workers use machines to do big jobs. A jackhammer is strong enough to break rocks and hard cement. For bigger digging jobs, construction workers use an excavator. An excavator has a special tool that looks like a shovel with huge claws. Machines like bulldozers are used for pushing large amounts of soil and sand. They help flatten the ground. And cranes help to lift and move heavy objects. So, what do construction workers do with all these tools and machines? They build and fix homes, bridges, roads, and buildings where people work and relax. Do you want to be a construction worker when you grow up?
Hey everybody, welcome to Boralex. Boralex develops and builds and operates renewable power facilities. That means that they make electricity out of things like the wind. Isn't that amazing? We need electricity to turn our lights on or make our TVs play, and they can make it out of the wind. It's incredible. I wonder how it works though.
Hi, Katie.
Hi.
Hi, everyone at home. I'm Brian, and I'm an engineer at Boralex, and I can tell you all about it.
That's great. Okay, Brian, so how do you turn the wind into electricity?
Well, first, you need to build a big wind turbine like this building block set here.
Oh, that's made out of building blocks?
Yeah, isn't it cool?
Yeah.
So first you have to build a big concrete foundation, like similar to the one in your home, and then you install all the tower sections. And once the tower is installed, you install the nacelle, where the power generator and all the gears are located. And then finally, you use a big crane to lift the blades in place, and you have a wind turbine ready to make power from the wind.
Wow, so the wind blows and it turns those big blades?
That's right. So once the wind blows, the blades start spinning and it makes power for your homes.
Hi, it's Doug. When I was a kid, I liked books. I liked reading them, and I even had a few, like this one, where I also just love the way that it smells. Still smells good. Do you have some favorite books? What about one where you really like the way it smells? You'd be surprised how many people do. Someone named Aaliyah has a question about books. Let's give Aaliyah a call now.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Aaliyah.
I have a question for you. How are books made?
Oh, that's a great question.
Well, once an author has an idea for a story, they write the whole story down. Maybe they write it in a notebook, maybe they type it on a computer. It's kind of like writing a story at school. When they're done, they read it. And they don't just read it once. They read it over and over again to make sure it's just right. Does the story make sense? Are all the words spelled right? Is it long enough? They keep on making changes and more changes until the story feels just right. And that's when it's time to turn that story into a book. But there's a problem. An author can't really do that on their own. I mean, most authors don't have bookmaking machines at their house. No, they're going to need a little help, and that comes from someone called a publisher. A publisher is a company that turns the stories on an author's computer into the books you read at home or at school. A team of people read all the stories authors send to them in search of great stories. But not all stories get turned into books. Publishers get thousands of stories from thousands of authors, and they can't make them all into books. So they're pretty picky about which stories they choose. They ask questions like, is the story new or has it been told before? Is the story really exciting or is it kind of slow? Are the sentences fun and creative or are they just kind of blah? Once they find the perfect story, one that's new and exciting and creative, they'll tell the author, we love your idea. It's time to turn it into a book. And that's when the actual bookmaking begins. It all starts with the editor. She's the person in charge. She reads and rereads the story to make sure that every character, every sentence, every word is just right. And when she finds a mistake, she gives it back to the author to fix. It's a lot like when your teacher tells you to rewrite a story or a sentence at school. While the author and editor work on fixing things, an artist, called an illustrator, and a team of designers begin to work on how the book will look. They figure out things like, will there be illustrations or pictures? What will they look like? And what about the words themselves? Will they be scribbly looking, like in this book? Or bold and huge, like in this one? They work on a lot of different sketches and ideas until eventually pages like this will turn into pages like this. Once the book is edited and all the illustrations are done, they put everything together into a practice book called a dummy. That's really what it's called. The dummy lets everyone that worked on the book see what it's going to look like when it's finished. If everything looks just right, it's ready to send to the printer. The printer is a place where the pages and pictures actually get made into the books you buy at bookstores or check out at the library. The printer has a giant machine that prints all the pages of the book. It's kind of like the printer you might have at home or at school, only a lot bigger and a lot faster. Watch these pages being printed. You notice anything? The printer paper is huge. That's because the pages of a book aren't actually printed separately. They're printed about 30 or 40 pages at a time on huge pieces of paper. The pages aren't even in the right order yet, until another machine folds and cuts the pages into perfectly ordered sections. But wait, there's something missing still. Can you guess what it is? The cover. All of the sections of a book still need to be put together and attached to a cover. This part is called binding. Paperback books, the ones with floppy covers, are glued together to the cover. You might have noticed with some of your own books that glued books can fall apart after a while. But books with hard covers, like this one, aren't glued at all. They're sewn together. If you pick up a book and hold it up like this, you can actually see the strings where they sewed it. Hardcover books last a lot longer than paperbacks. Once a book is bound to the cover, it's shipped to bookstores and libraries and schools all over the world. And you know what that means. Yep, it's finally time to read. So now imagine a book you really like and think about it. That book went from a what-if question in an author's head to a story on a computer to a printer to being the thing you can hold in your hands and enjoy over and over again. That's all for this week's question. Thanks, Aaliyah, for asking it.